Great prank, Cottrell. Really got me on this one.
You just got pranked!
It's quite possibly the best prank that's ever been pulled. Out of all the countries, I got salami. Let's get this over with. So, you guys were noticing Nazi symbolism and the little stormtrooper in The Force Awakens over break. I was looking up one of the greatest countries ever. Somalia. Great use of a tweak break, right? I like to consider that Somalia is the world's equivalent to the Kardashians. Though you might get tempted by some junk in the trunk, you're quickly reminded of how god-awful it truly is. But watch its drama at a safe distance from social media. Let's begin this presentation with some Somali
knowledge.
Somalia is a thin strip of country on the eastern part of Africa. Somalia has to be the quickest and hardest decline of a country, racking in only 22 years before the collapse of society. Somalia became a thing in 1969 when Britain withdrew its reinforcements to allow people of Somaliland to join up to the Italian Somaliland. After this, they had only one ruler, Mohammed Said Bear, who created a socialist rule by jailing and torturing his political opponents. This can also be described as being a sore loser. The capital of Somalia is known as Mogadishu. Usually cities have some type of meaning to them, so I wanted to figure out what Mogadishu meant. So I found this really trustworthy site called Urban Dictionary. It describes Mogadishu as the hardest hood in the world. By a mile. Oh my god, I love Urban Dictionary. In 1991, the country turned into turmoil and became the country we all know and love today. As for a government, well, Somalia doesn't really have one. It's currently in the pending process, so says CIA.gov. While I was researching, I started to think, this is not a good country to be researching. Like, I'm finding nothing. But then that's when I found out about the economy and how it works, and it is actually kind of interesting. The country's main exports would have to be agriculture. You have bananas, you have corn, and you have sorghum? I don't know what that is, but that's just a few to name. Though these actually give Somalia some profit, there's actually one thing that makes up most of Somalia's money.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Pirates. Pirates make up a huge amount of money in Somalia's economics. The annual income of Al-Shabaab in southern Somalia was around 70 to 100 million in taxation and extortion, while the World Bank, at least in 2013, calculated the average total pirate ransoms for around 50 million US dollars per year. That is a massive amount of money that just goes into the pockets of these pirates. There's even a stock market for Somali pirates. You can't make this stuff up. They actually have stocks for future pirate raids. As for age in Somalia, ages 0 to 14 rack up about 43.72% of the overall population, while 15 to 24 years of age comes out to about 18.85%. 25 to 54 years of age goes up to 31.36%. 55 to 64 years of age goes down to about 3.81%, and 65 years or older is only 2.24% of the population. This country only gets darker as we go down the list of things I have to cover, as its infant mortality rates go up to about 98.39 deaths per 1,000 live births. This ranks it the third most country with the most infant mortalities. As for life expectancy, Somalia ranks country number 218 out of 224 for the lowest life expectancy rate. Can we just take a moment and ask what Monaco is doing right now to produce super babies? They have the least infant deaths and highest living expectancy. I guarantee you Monaco will produce the first Superman. Guaranteed. In fact, I bet all my future pirate raid stocks on. The GDP of Somalia's growth rate is 2.6%, while the GDP per capita is a whopping $600. Somalia's agriculture makes up 60.2% of the total GDP. Following this are services, 32.5%, and industry, 7.4%. After searching high and low and to and fro, I couldn't locate any info about Somalia's taxes, which I'm gonna guess isn't that important there, with al-shish kebab rolling down the streets day in, day out. That pretty much covers it for Somalia, but we still have one question that remains to be answered. How does Somalia compare to the US?